I'm Andy Thorburn. I'm the head of national supply for Rentalcars.com. Rentalcars.com are an intermediary that connects customers with car rental suppliers. Those car rental suppliers are car rental companies. Rentalcars.com's delivery pace is fast. We do everything fast. We've grown quickly as a business, and it is a constant challenge trying to keep a pace with that. The vision for Marketplace is simple. We wanted to make it easier for smaller car rental companies to engage with us so that we can offer customers a broader selection of places to rent cars from. Today we have customers searching for car rental in all manner of places. We can't always satisfy those search requests because we have gaps in our supply base. Therefore, through Marketplace, we wanted to fill those gaps, therefore meet that customer demand. Secondly, we wanted to make it easier for suppliers to work with us. We're good at looking after many of the Tier 1, Tier 2 suppliers, less good at making it easier for smaller companies to work with us. There's various technical challenges which come in there, so we're removing those technical challenges through Marketplace. We went through two phases of requesting proposals. The first time we went through that, we had high-level requirements, but we had probably insufficient detail upon which potential suppliers could quote in detail. Godel, along with one other party that was invited, said we don't think there's enough detail here for us to be able to give a good quote on this. So having listened to them, we went into a 3-month discovery period where we fleshed out our requirements in much more detail. That went into a second phase of RFP. Godel were impressive in the way that they broke down it's probably about a 500-page requirements document and went through every single low-level requirement and built up a proposal based on the estimates at that low level. That was very impressive.
I'm Adam Flynn, I'm lead architect at Rentalcars.com. So in terms of technology, I would say this has been the single most complex integration project in my time at Rentalcars. I've been here for 8 years, so that's testament to the kind of complexity of the project. It's been really involved. It's the number of touch points across various teams. It's been really high. We've tackled that with a really modern tech stack, modern architectural practices, microservices, lots of asynchronous communication, reactive programming. The guys have really led the way on this stuff. It wasn't purely dictated to by us what patterns and technologies that the team at Godel chose. They really were driving that choice of technology, and it felt like a collaboration. They were coming forward with ideas around tech stack and the patterns that they use, and we together as a team ratify them and make sure that they were the right choice.
When we started to think about delivering Marketplace and what that was going to entail, we realised it was going to be a project which spanned a couple of quarters, and that we would, that over the course of those quarters, the normal demands of our business would mean that we would want to move resource from one place to another. By ring fencing resource on a specific project, which was a distinct piece of work, it looked like it would stand a greater success of us being able to deliver quickly against our requirements. We were looking for 3 things. Firstly, we're looking for technical competence. Secondly, we were looking at cultural compatibility. And thirdly, we wanted to feel confident that delivery would be assured on our requirements.
I found working with Godel really good. It's been a new experience for me personally, working with an outsourced builder. I guess going into the project, you had this preconception of an outsourced project and it being really quite waterfall, quite hands-off. But it's really not been that. It's been very engaged. The team were almost an augmentation of what we had there in Manchester, so it's been a really nice, refreshing experience.
We quickly got into a sprint routine of which is based on 2-week sprints of sprint planning, do the sprint itself, demo, and then retro afterwards. That all worked well from the get-go, and we're still following those two-week sprints now. Within the sprints, the guys are in constant communication through Slack, through Jira, through Confluence, and also through their daily stand-ups. Those meetings are always a mixture of Godel and Rentalcars staff. It always feels like one team.
On the whole, I would say that the tech stack that we've chosen and the way that we've employed it on Marketplace has ultimately led to a solution that is flexible and will help us scale going forward.
Something else we do are face-to-face explorations and peeling away the layers of the onion while we're getting our heads around about the requirements for each story. When I talk about stories, I'm talking about nearly 5,000 user stories that we've worked our way through over the course of the last 18 months.
We have some pretty ambitious targets and we set them up from the start, some pretty ambitious non-functional requirements. The cloud has really enabled us to lay the foundations for that without necessarily having a huge upfront spend, that ability to scale dynamically in the cloud. AWS has been beneficial because it's allowed us to kind of live in splendid isolation of everything else that we have at Rentalcars. So it's that real startup mentality of completely greenfield project, the chance to spin up some environments very quickly. From the outset, we were pretty clear with Godel that we wanted everything defined as code. So all infrastructure now is repeatable, defined as code. What that's allowed us to do is to build a platform that will allow us to continue to innovate at pace. It's also laid the foundations for a DevOps culture within the Marketplace product. They started off with a fairly traditional infrastructure setup, but as that's progressed through the project, we've now got a nice balance between kind of dev and ops and those teams working together. So yeah, it's give us the foundations for that, but it's also give us the ability to start with a relatively low-cost environment, but have that flexibility of the cloud to grow and expand.
So my name is Chris Kenny and I'm the product owner for Marketplace. So what's worked well on the Godel engagement has been the dedication of the team, the professionalism. I've built some really good relationships with the team members. They've really bought into what we're trying to achieve with Marketplace and what we're trying to achieve as a business. They've gone the extra mile for me. Nothing's ever been too much trouble for the team. They've adapted their processes to try and fit in what are for our requirements. Built a number of really good relationships with the guys and see a lot of them as friends now, so yeah, it's been really enjoyable and great.
So I guess what's worked well is Godel's ability to flex to our needs. If we want to use a buzzword, you can probably say they've been really agile, but really I think it's more about actually their ability to adapt and change to our ways of working and our kind of style, which at times is fairly demanding. We have really quite a keen focus on process improvement. So at times they've had to take the brunt of that kind of focus, but they've been more than up to the challenge to do it.
One of the things that worked well was being able to flex the size of the team to a point where we could achieve highest possible velocity for the stuff that we're working on at that time. Another thing that's worked well is quickly getting to a point where I felt as if we had an emotional attachment between the project and the guys in Minsk. Often on outsourcing projects, we don't see that. Often within insourcing projects, we don't actually see that level of emotional engagement. It was only about 6 weeks into the project I felt that everyone who's working on this gets it and really wants to do a good job on that. To sum up Godel in 3 words, I would say professional, productive and personable.
I would say highly skilled, energetic and flexible.
Dedicated, loyal and tenacious.